Great. I think let's get going. Welcome to our webinar, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. I know you're all busy, so thank you for taking the time to join us for the next 30 minutes or so. My name is Thomas, and I'm joined here by my colleague Faisal, and we're both part of the customer success team here at NC Squared. We're excited to be a host for today's webinar, where we'll be showing you how to use the different distribution tagging options available within the app, with a focus on distributing leads to your sales team or cases to your agents, but all concepts we show you today will apply for both of those use cases. A bit of housekeeping first. This is a one-way webinar, so we're the only ones on camera and audio, including any recording. So if you'd like to ask a question, please feel free to do so, and using the chat or questions panel, we'll get back to you offline after the webinar with our answers. So to today's agenda, I'll kick off with an overview of the problem and how DE with its tagging and performance features can help. And then Faisal and I will take you through each one of these in more detail, and we'll finish off with a summary and a wrap up. So let's look at the problem that we hope to solve today. Having leads land with the right rep is important. Leads often require a personalized approach based on their specific interests, needs, or preferences. For instance, a lead may prefer to communicate in a particular language, or may require a sales rep with specific technical or product knowledge, or perhaps your different lead sources need a different sales approach for each of them. If leads don't go to the right rep, as we see on the left-hand side here, Matt looks after green leads, but somehow only has pink leads assigned to them. It can lead to inefficiencies, dissatisfied prospects, and even losing the deal. Another aspect of the right rep for the right lead is performance. How do I know if I'm giving my reps the best chance to succeed? Should my top performers receive more leads? Should my ramping reps receive fewer? Building a solution for this can quickly get overwhelming, confusing, and lead to hard-coded solutions that need to be manually maintained and do not scale well. So how can we solve these challenges? With distribution tags. The static and dynamic tags in DE allow for a more nuanced distribution of leads based on the specific attributes and skills of team members, as well as the characteristics of the leads themselves. We will also show you how tags can be used to direct more or less work to your team members based on their performance, taking into consideration hours worked, their close rate or conversion percentage, or even your own definition of time to action. As we see on the right-hand side here, each individual receives the leads that are best fit for them. So today we will look at how, with the help of distribution tags, we can build efficient, transparent, and scalable solutions to address these challenges. So let's talk about the first problem that we're hoping to solve today, the challenge of inefficient lead distribution. Perhaps you already have a solution in place that assigns leads in a simple round robin, but without taking into consideration the skills or other attributes of your reps. This can result in the lead landing with someone who isn't best placed to convert the lead. This probably isn't the best setup and will inevitably lead to inefficiencies and the lead needing to be reassigned, or the rep spending time working a lead that is just not the best fit for them. As we see on the left side of my slide, only Jill is qualified to look after hot leads, the purple ones with the exclamation point, but somehow these leads are being distributed to others in the team. Ideally, the routing solution would be intelligent enough to take different attributes into account and send the lead to the right rep. It would be ideal if we could build up a profile of our reps by assigning attributes to them, which can then be used to influence lead assignment. For example, your hot leads should only go to the best performers in the team. As we see on the right, my hot leads have been distributed to Jill, who is the only user in the team qualified to look after them. Well, you can achieve this by using the static tagging feature. So let me hand it over to Faisal, who can walk us through on how to do this in DE.
Thank you, Toms. So by leveraging the power of DE static tags and filtering, we're able to fine-tune our approach to lead distribution. So let's take a look at how we can take advantage of this in the application.
So let's head into a team. So my East Coast SDR team here, and then I'll click into my hot leads distributor. So this distributor is distributing hot leads. So what I've done is I've set up a field-based filter which is looking at a field called rating on the lead. And if rating equals hot, only those hot leads will be distributed via this distributor. But in addition to that, I also want to make sure that those hot leads are only distributed to my senior or high performing reps. So how do I do this? Now here at the bottom of the page, we have the team member filter, and you have the option of selecting by tags. So I'll click onto that and I'll leave it at the default static. So when we use the static tag filters, we're saying that we already know the tags that we want to use to determine assignment. So since this distributor is distributing leads that are hot or of high quality, I want to make sure that only my senior and high performing sales reps are receiving those leads. So all I need to do here is to select the tag collection. So I've called it seniority, which includes senior and high performing reps. So once you're done, click Save, and only those team members with senior or high performer tags assigned to them will receive leads assigned by this distributor. Now, for everything else, we could create a second distributor, which will then route those records to less experienced users. So here I'm leaving my field-based filter blank, but what I will do again here at the bottom is to select by tags, but this time select my less experienced reps. So junior and mid-level. So to sum up, static tags can be used as filters on distributors to define which team members are eligible to receive assignments through that distributor. They ensure specific team members receive specific types of assignments based on the tags that they hold.
So now with the use of static tags and filtering, we allow for a more refined distribution of leads based on the specific attributes and skills of team members. And this can result in more efficient lead distribution, happier reps, and potentially higher conversion rates.
Thank you, Faisal. So with static tags, we've seen how we can route records to specific individuals who are holding those specific tags. But depending on how granular the distribution logic is, using just static tags could still result in the need to maintain a higher number of distributors. What if we wanted to take this a step further and make it more dynamic and look at the information on the incoming record and then use this to route to the best rep? For example, if you have reps that are experts in different products, speak different languages, look after a specific industry or lead source, wouldn't it be great if you could easily send the lead to the right rep with the matching attributes that this lead requires? As we see on the right, Matt only receives green leads, as those are the type of leads Matt is qualified to look after. And could we do this? Without the need to set up an explicit specific rule for every single combination of skill? So I'll hand over to Faisal, who can show us how we can build a simple and scalable solution for this using DE's dynamic tags.
Thanks, Toms. So we can solve this in DE by setting up a dynamic tag filter within a distributor. And we don't need to set up anything further within the tags assignment page unless team members need their tags updated. So dynamic tags and filters are based on real-time data and can change based on the specific needs of your team. So for example, you might create a dynamic filter that shows all team members who are currently available to take on all leads needing a French language speaker, or who have a specific skill set that is required for a particular project, for example, specialism in nutrition. Or another example, let's say we have a case coming through from the finance industry, and we only want to consider agents that hold the finance tag. So DE can use the information contained in the case record to match that to an agent who is holding the appropriate tag. And you can do all of this by using dynamic tags and filtering. And let me show you how this is done within the app.
So let's start off by briefly going into our distribution tags page. So here you can see I've created a tag collection called product knowledge. And within that tag collection, I have various tags. So engines, infotainment, trim levels, etc., corresponding to areas of expertise. What I can then do is assign these tags to specific reps or agents according to their specialisms. So let's say Clint here is an expert on engines and trim levels. I simply click the boxes here on the right hand side and click Save to assign those tags to Clint. So how do we use these tags? So let me head over to one of my teams. So my EMEA service team here, and I'll show you. So in this example, let's take a look at the assignment of cases, but the same is also applicable for sales reps specializing in a solution offering. So here I'm going to head into one of my distributors. So my priority 1 cases distributor here. And I'm going to head down to the team member filter as before and select by tags. But this time I'll flip it across to dynamic. So when you use dynamic tag type filters, DE is looking at the incoming case and matching it based on the fields you select here to the tags that you've assigned to your users. So here we will select our product knowledge tag collection, and over here we'll pick the product field on the case. So the way this works is when a new case comes into DE, it will look at the product field on the case, it will take that value and match it to the tags that you've created in your product knowledge tag collection. Then based on the users assigned to that product knowledge tag, DE will then assign the records appropriately. So for example, if I have an agent who works at a car dealership and holds a trim levels tag, and a case comes in where product equals trim levels, then that agent will be eligible to receive that assignment. You can create additional team member filters by clicking the Add Row link here. So to sum up, you can easily create tag collections representing a certain attribute and tags within that collection representing values of that attribute. When you use dynamic tag type filters, DE can look at the incoming records in real time to find tags matching a specific field on the record and allowing you to direct that record to the most appropriate agent based on the tags that they hold.
So dynamic filters are highly flexible and can be customized according to your team's needs, which makes it really easy to route records to the team members who are best placed to work them, whilst also considering their availability and proficiency.
Thank you for that, Faisal. So to recap, we've looked at distributing leads based on skills or attributes of team members, as well as taking into consideration the type of records that are being distributed and using that information to route to the most appropriate rep. But what if we also wanted to consider the performance attributes of the rep, such as conversion or close rate, the number of hours they've worked, or even your own defined time to action criteria, and route more or less work to them based on these considerations as well. For example, by monitoring conversion rates and close rates, sales managers can identify high-performing individuals in the team. These high performers can then be assigned more leads or cases, increasing the chances of conversion or closure. By understanding how many hours each team member has worked and their relative performance, managers can make more informed decisions about resource allocation. For instance, if a high-performing rep has been overworked, the hours could be adjusted or additional resources could be assigned to them to maintain their high performance. We can achieve this by using the performance feature together with tags in DE. So I'll hand over to Faisal for one last time and he'll show you how it works. Faisal.
Thank you, Toms. So here's an example of a problem we're trying to solve. As well as wanting to distribute high value work to our teams, we'd also like to consider other criteria such as conversion rate for reps or close rate for agents. So the aim is not only to consider their seniority, but how well they're performing over a period of time. So let me show you this, show you how in our final segment.
So let's kick things off here on our performance page. So the performance page provides an overview of your team's recent performance, such as hours worked per team member over your chosen time period, so in my case over the last week, as well as a number of other metrics. So the metrics shown on the page will depend on your team's configuration. Now here on the right-hand side, you can see seniority tags associated to the team members, which define their seniority based on performance. So what can you do with these performance-based tags? You may want to weight distributions so that higher performing reps receive more records, or you may want to apply a different cap, so time-based or active, dependent on where they sit in the performance hierarchy. So the performance page allows you to manage tag assignments from the tag collections used for tag-based weighting and tag-based caps. So based on the seniority tags that they hold, they will then qualify for different distributions. Now, for example, Catherine here has performed particularly well this week. So I'm going to move her from being a mid-level rep to a high-performing rep. And just being able to do that here rather than having to go back to the tags page makes this a lot quicker and easier. So let's head back into our hot leads distributor, as I showed you previously in my static tag segment, where we selected seniority as the tag collection and then only high performers and seniors, so ensuring all enterprise or hot leads only go to our more experienced team members. We can also add another distributor for warm leads. So this one only assigns to reps holding the mid-level and senior tags. Now, where we can take this a step further is to also influence the weighting and capping of team members based on their performance and the seniority tags that they hold. And the way we do this is to head into our weighting and caps page by clicking on the link on the left, and then switching to tag-based weighting. We then select the tag collection, seniority here, and then we can add our tags. So if I add a few here, select high performer, pick a weighting for high performers, select seniors, pick a slightly lower weighting, and then for mid-level, let's say we want 1.25 for them. So tag-based weighting allows you to assign the weighting based on tags assigned to a team member. And this makes it easier for you to manage weighting for groups of individuals. In addition, we can also apply tag-based capping. So here under team level caps, we can select the same seniority tag collection. And I've added a couple of drop downs, one for hourly, one for daily. So these are hourly or daily limits. We can add other time periods as well, or set active or custom caps for each seniority level. So the example here shows that a high performing team member will receive up to 5 assignments per hour and up to 50 per day, while a senior level team member will receive up to 3 assignments per hour and up to 30 per day. So to sum up, we can use the metrics on the performance page to assign tags to team members based on their seniority. We can use these tags in distributor filters and apply them to weighting and capping, with the higher performing individuals having a higher weighting and capping applied to them as they can take on more work.
Okay, so what we've just seen, the performance page, allows you to easily access information that you'd want to consider to decide on an individual rep seniority level. And using this in conjunction with tag-based weighting and capping allows you to enhance the team's efficiency, as well as increasing motivation and engagement.
Great, thank you, Faisal, for doing a great job running through all the tagging and team member filter options that are available in DE, as well as showing us how we could effectively use the performance page. To recap and sum up, distribution tags allow you to get specific in your setup and easily route leads based on criteria and attributes. For example, you can use static tags to send your hot leads to your high-performing reps. You don't have to hard code the team members into the individual distributors. You can instead use tags to manage who is a high performer and should receive these hot leads. This way, you can get specific as to who should receive what type of lead. When you have many different types of leads, dynamic tags can help and simplify your distribution logic. Instead of needing to build an individual distributor for every possible lead, you can use dynamic tags to do this dynamically. For example, your French-speaking nutritionist will receive leads that are relevant to them, while your users that speak other languages and are experts in other products from your catalog will receive the leads that are best for them. And all this with just one distributor. Next, we can add performance attributes to your setup. You can set up tag-based weighting and caps instead of needing to decide this for each individual user. For example, use the DE performance page to see who is closing the most deals and assign the high performer tag to them. And because you have set up tag-based weighting and caps, they now automatically will fall under the weighting and caps for a high performer. Using DE tags allow you to build solutions that are efficient, easy to manage, and scale well. You don't need to hard code users into distributors or have to go through all of your setup when someone leaves or joins the team. Instead, use tags and manage their attributes this way. You could also delegate the management of tags to team managers without needing to give them access to the distributors themselves, so they can't change any of the distribution logic. Overall, distribution tags are a great feature to use to streamline your setup and make sure that every lead is looked after the best possible rep. Before we finish today, next time we will all be together in a webinar is going to be the webinar for our upcoming release called Llama. One of the new features coming out is going to be custom classification, which will work great together with tags. So keep an eye out for an invitation to the release webinar, and we'll walk you through in a lot more detail how this new feature is going to help you and how can it work together with tags. All that remains for me to say is a big thank you for all of you spending your time here today with us and for being our customers. We hope you found the information presented useful for your needs. And if you have any questions or would like to learn more about how NC Squared can help you with your requirements, please don't hesitate to reach out to us at support@nc-squared.com. From Faisal and I, we hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thanks, everyone.